If you open up the App Store on your phone right now, you are staring into a truly saturated market.
That's putting it mildly.
We are talking millions upon millions of applications, all vying for those precious few megabytes of space and, more importantly, your attention. And let's be brutally honest, most of them are totally forgettable.
Right. They might do the job, but they don't stick. They achieve what you might call functional adequacy.
Functional adequacy, I like that.
Which, ironically, is often the fast track to being deleted. Functionality is just table stakes in 2024.
Exactly. So what we are deep diving into today is the anatomy of lasting success. It's the difference between an app that merely works and an app that is loved. We're talking about the Lovable app, the one you instinctively return to, the one that becomes part of your daily routine, and the one you recommend enthusiastically before anyone even asks.
It becomes a trusted digital companion, not just a tool. And our sources make it unequivocally clear. Creating this level of devotion is not some lightning strike of luck. It's a highly intentional process. For you, the learner, we've distilled the foundational roadmap into 3 essential pillars that have to work together holistically. We're going to unpack success across the core product and user experience.
Okay.
Then technical and operational excellence. And finally, sustainable business and growth metrics. And if one of those pillars crumbles, the whole structure just fails.
Okay, let's unpack this. We've established the goal is lasting success. Let's start at the very beginning then. The immediate connection. What is the absolute non-negotiable foundation? What makes that first interaction sticky?
The foundation is surprisingly simple, yet developers often miss the mark because they focus on features over needs.
Okay.
It's solving a real problem. A truly lovable app isn't built chasing trends or trying to be cool. It identifies a genuine, acute pain point faced by its target audience, and it solves it in a demonstrably better way.
A demonstrably better way.
Yes. This problem-solution fit is what creates immediate relevance and, critically, fosters an emotional connection. You feel relieved when you start using it.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, if you genuinely alleviate an ongoing frustration, you have the user's goodwill immediately. But every developer claims their app solves a problem. How do we differentiate between solving a mild inconvenience and a genuine pain point?
It comes down to frequency and intensity. A mild inconvenience is, having to open 2 browser tabs to check something.
Right. Annoying but manageable.
An acute pain point is when a lack of organization is costing you time, money, or stress every single day. The best apps create a sense of indispensable relief, and once you have that critical foundation, the design has to support it.
Because solving a problem poorly is just as frustrating as not solving it at all. This is where the interface becomes critical, isn't it?
Exactly. First impressions matter enormously, and users are ruthless judges. We are looking for intuitive interface design.
What does that look like in practice?
The sources stress clean, visually appealing, and uncluttered designs that guide users naturally toward their goals. Navigation should feel instinctive, not learned. Every single element on the screen has to serve a clear purpose. If the user has to pause and think, wait, where do I click next? The interface has failed.
I think we've all been there. You install an app, you open it, and you're just instantly overwhelmed by tiny buttons or confusing menus.
It creates cognitive friction,
Right.
which is the absolute enemy of retention. And that friction often starts the moment the app is launched, which leads us directly to onboarding.
Ah, the first few seconds.
Yes, that journey from download to the moment where the user truly understands and experiences the core value, that famous aha moment, it has to be short and frictionless.
That aha moment is the payoff. It's the reason you downloaded it. You need to deliver it fast.
Precisely. New users need immediate clarity on what the app does. This means streamlined signups, minimal setup, a clear path to the main function. Think of a food delivery app. The aha isn't the sign-up. It's seeing a list of local restaurants and realizing dinner is sorted. Every extra step, every permission request, it just increases the likelihood of abandonment.
I see the leverage point there. We've all been trapped in those endless sign-up flows that want 10 permissions before you even see the home screen. That delay just sends a terrible signal.
It does, and tied directly to that is clarity of purpose. If your app promises to manage finances, track fitness, and organize photos, it's probably promising too much.
You can't be everything to everyone and be lovable.
You can't. A clear value proposition is vital. Users have to immediately get what the app offers and why it deserves their time. It's what separates the focused, successful apps from the ones that are just, all over the place.
Let me jump in with the final UX point here, because this one feels like a non-negotiable baseline.
Go for it.
Performance. I mean, in this age of instant gratification, fast loading times, and responsive interactions, they're not special features anymore, are they?
No, they're expectations. They are credibility factors. That's a critical distinction. And the sources actually set a specific standard here. Loading times should ideally be under 2 seconds.
Wow, that's fast.
It is. But look, we've all hit delete on an app before the splash screen even finishes loading because we just assume, probably rightly, that the rest of the experience will be painful. Crashes, lag, they erode trust no matter how great your features are.
And that ties directly into how performance now equals credibility. If it lags, it feels unprofessional, not just slow. You start to worry about the security or if the company is even solvent.
Exactly. That perception of sluggishness erodes the emotional connection you just worked so hard to build.
Couldn't agree more. So we've covered the front-end experience, the face and immediate feel of the app. Now let's look under the hood. What technical standards turn a good app into that trusted companion?
Okay, now we shift to technical and operational excellence, which is really the bedrock of trust. We have to start with reliability and security.
Right.
Users today are intensely aware that their data is valuable, and they will abandon an app the moment they feel it's compromised.
It's not just about the features, it's about peace of mind.
It is entirely about peace of mind. This means strong data protection, secure authentication like multi-factor, and robust error handling. The ability to fail gracefully.
What do you mean by that?
So if you lose your internet connection for a moment, the app doesn't just crash, it tells you what's wrong and lets you try again. When an app consistently performs and respects user data, it builds the loyalty needed to turn users into advocates. A bug is forgivable, a data breach is terminal.
That loyalty is key. But what about when the app takes off? That success can actually become a technical burden, can it?
That's the essential planning dilemma, and it leads directly to scalability. The architecture has to be capable of scaling from day one. The infrastructure must be designed to grow alongside the user base.
Handling more traffic, more data?
Exactly, and all without performance degradation. You have to avoid building what's called technical debt, which is basically cutting corners now that will cost you exponentially more to fix later.
So you don't want to be patching the roof while the house is on fire because you chose a cheap database at the start.
That's a perfect analogy. It's about thinking ahead. Moving from just buying a bigger server to distributing the load across many smaller ones. This prevents those catastrophic failures when you get a sudden spike in traffic.
That's a crucial technical lesson. And while we're on the technical side, modern users operate in these interconnected ecosystems. Nothing exists in a vacuum.
Precisely. The really lovable apps have built-in integrations. They fit naturally into your existing workflows.
Like connecting to your calendar or Google Drive.
Exactly. Or messaging platforms, single sign-on services. When an app integrates seamlessly, it becomes an indispensable part of your digital life. Not just a tool, but a connector.
I see the power in that. It's about reducing friction in your overall digital life. Now, what's fascinating here is that even when you've done all this, the process never stops. A truly lovable app is never really finished.
That is the promise of long-term success. The best apps evolve continuously. Frequent, meaningful updates that add features, address concerns, fix bugs. They are essential.
It signals commitment.
It signals commitment from the development team. It creates a sense of partnership with the community, showing users that their feedback is actually being acted upon.
So if an app hasn't pushed an update in 6 months, you should start to worry. It signals stagnation.
Absolutely. Stagnation is a slow form of death in the app world. Users expect evolution. They expect new value.
Okay, so we have a fast, intuitive, secure, integrated, and continuously improving app. Now, the final pillar. How do we know if it's truly lovable and, more importantly, sustainable? How do we measure this?
We turn to business and growth metrics. The starting point is a strong product market fit. This is that key alignment between what the app offers and what the audience actually needs.
And how do you know you have it?
Our source suggests it's validated through 2 main indicators: early monetization success and truly enthusiastic user feedback.
Enthusiastic feedback is the key differentiator there, isn't it? Not just it works, but I can't live without it.
Exactly. When you have product market fit, users become your loudest advocates. They talk about the product in terms of solving their lives, not just performing a task. This is what drives sustainable organic growth.
And this is where it gets really interesting because the downloads metric, that big flashy number everyone chases, we hit 1 million downloads. It's kind of a vanity metric, isn't it?
It's the ultimate vanity metric. The true measure of an app's lovability isn't downloads, it's user retention and engagement.
How many people stick around?
Right. High retention, the percentage of users who return week after week, proves you're providing ongoing value. 1 million downloads with a 5% retention rate is a failure. 100,000 downloads with an 80% retention rate is a massive success.
So we should be looking at things like daily active users or churn rates, which show us how fast people are walking out the door.
Precisely. Churn rate is the silent killer. If you spend a ton of money to get a user and then lose them 3 weeks later, you're going backwards. High retention proves you delivered on the initial promise, and positive reviews then follow, which provides the social proof to attract new users.
It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle.
Yes, and retention funds the future. And on the financial side, one of the clearest validations of solving a valuable problem is whether people will pay for it.
Monetization is validation.
Exactly. When users willingly pay, it confirms the app solves a tangible, valuable problem. The strategy here is often charging for value from the start or having a clear path to it.
But wait, what about all the successful apps that are free?
That's a great counterpoint. For free apps, the validation shifts from currency to time and data. If users are spending huge portions of their day in the app, they're validating its value. But for business-critical or productivity apps, a clear, simple pricing model establishes it as a serious offering.
Right. If people aren't willing to pay, the problem you're solving might not be as acute as you think. Now, going back to that organic growth, how do we get those loyal, retained users to bring in their friends?
That's where shareable functionality comes in. Lovable apps build features that naturally encourage users to share.
The viral loop.
That's it. Whether it's showcasing achievements, sharing a collaborative document, inviting friends to a project, these social triggers turn satisfied users into active promoters.
This is word-of-mouth growth, which is so much more effective and more credible than traditional marketing.
It creates sustainable momentum that compounds over time. And underpinning all of this, of course, is an effective distribution strategy. You need a thoughtful way to ensure the right people discover the app in the first place.
So let's bring this all together. We started with millions of apps, and we've boiled down success to a deliberate, interwoven set of decisions. It's not one killer feature, it's the combination.
The synthesis is clear. Creating a lovable app requires an intentional focus where every element reinforces the others. It's a closed feedback loop. Great design supports retention. High retention validates product market fit. And that fit justifies continued investment in technical excellence. You can't separate them.
You can't design your way out of a security problem, and you can't market your way out of poor retention.
Precisely.
That holistic approach, building something that becomes a trusted companion rather than just another disposable tool that remains the surest path to lasting success. You have to aim higher than just functional.
Indeed. And this leaves us with an important question for you, the learner, to ponder. If we accept that the most successful apps are never truly finished, that they require continuous improvement and demand scalability from day one, what is the crucial trade-off between speed to market and building that immediate, essential technical infrastructure? Where do you draw the line between launching fast to capture the market and building debt-free for the long haul? Something to think about as you navigate the app landscape.